Hi everyone, and welcome back to Whispering Pine Botanicals. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I wanted to do a walkthrough video of my Green Witch's Grimoire. And this has taken me probably about 2 to 3 years to get to where I am now. I still have a lot of room left in this, but I'll show you just how chunky it is. So this is obviously what I've already gotten done, and this is what I haven't gotten done. However, I can barely even shut this because it is so thick. So I may have to take out a few signatures once it gets down to here, but I honestly like the way this looks. It gives it a lot more character, and it took a long time for me to get this far. So I wanted to make it look magical. So as you can see here, I've got a lot of embellishments on the sides, and I put some charms. I also printed out names of plants and put them on little cards you'll see throughout. I don't know if you can see that far away, but it just gives it more of a Green Witch vibe. So let's turn this around and get it situated, and let's get started. First, I've got my title page. It tells me the moon phase when I started it, what year, the date, my book blessing, and Oath of a Green Witch. I think this also corresponds with Oath of an Herbalist as well. Then I've got a whimsical little drawing here, To Be a Witch poem, a protection incantation, and then I've got a protection spell jar. And you'll see throughout this book that it's more of a scrapbook style than a normal traditional grimoire. And the reason why I did it that way is to make it more interesting, because I don't want to open a book that is just paper. It's not interesting to me. This is interesting. It has little crevices and pockets and little hidden things all throughout this book that just make it more magical. I've got how to press flowers, and then another image, a black salt recipe. I knew I had to add a lot of plant references in here because as an herbalist, a green witch, my main way that I use magic and remedies is through herbs. I've never really been happy with this page, but I tried to do my best, and I didn't want to rip it out because I feel like this shows me the growth when I look back on it. I've also got a page on banishing, which herbs to use, a banishing oil, an emotional clarity spell, and just kind of an all-around witchy oil. I've also got my negative energy salt bowl recipe and a safe travel charm bag, which is really great when you're trying to go somewhere on a plane, in a car. Then I've got a page just for my rose friend, and I like to add not only the medicinal aspect of this, like from a materia medica, but I also like to add the magical uses as well. And this is actually a photo of one of my roses on my rose bush last year. And then I've got a page all about tree magic. And I didn't add every single tree, obviously. I just added the ones that are most used in magic and most used in my practice as an herbalist, just out on nature walks. These are the ones that I see the most. Fear and anxiety, an anxiety relief spray. Here's my little charm. Then I've got casting a circle, and here's a little fun pocket, and you can take this out and put whatever you want on it. And then I don't know if you can see this down here at the bottom, But throughout this book, I decided to put a little snippet of information about certain subjects. So this one right here is about wildcrafting, and this is just a description and the meaning, definition if you will, of what wildcrafting is. Peaceful slumber tincture, and then I've got my little charm right here. Attract prosperity. Then we go into the moon phases, and I've got little snippets of information about each moon phase. And there we go again with my little card. It says Mandrake on it. And then I also wanted to add in some spirit animal magic. So this spread is all about the spirit of owl. This one is simply just a scrapbooky style page. So you take these out and there's little cards on the back and you can write whatever you want on these. And then we go into my empath salt bowl. And here's just another beautiful page, and here's another snippet of information. This one explains what animism is. My wish spell oil. And then this page is kind of fun. If you flip this over, you can take out pockets. Or there is a pocket, I should say. And you can take out little cards. And it's just really fun. Then I've got my crystal plant medicine, a patience spell. This is all about the wolf moon. And then we have another spread on a plant, and this is elder. So I've got all the medicinal aspects on this page and all the magical on this one. And then we've got another snippet of information. This one is about what an apothecary is. Magical hours of the day. Clearing and cleansing herbs. So this is actually really useful when you get new herbs from a store, from anywhere really, because sometimes they sit on shelves and you just want to clear and cleanse everything before you use it. So this is really good for clearing and cleansing your herbs. Then we've got candle flame meanings all here. And then I wanted to add a little cute page on tea recipes. And so far I've only got, I don't know if you can see, but I've only got 3 so far. I'm going to be adding more as soon as possible. Then I've got a spread on cleansing, different ways to cleanse, herbs for cleansing, the moon phase for cleansing, snow magic, ways to use snow in your spiritual practice, full moon ritual, happy energy spell jar. This one's all about morning magic. And so I have over here some things that show you what coffee is good for, what sugar is good for, what milk and cream is good for, and that sort of thing. Another one with a charm. We've got another spread on a spirit animal. This one is the hare. And then I have a spread. I started the Wheel of the Year. I started all of the sabbats. So this one is in bulk. All about it, how to celebrate the correspondences. And then on this side, I wanted to do, for each sabbat, I wanted to do not only information, but on the other side, like a recipe or some type of ritual. So this is my in bulk ritual cake. And then in here, I made a little pocket. And it is an in bulk house blessing ritual. This is a return to sender, and then this is also a little snippet about what the pentacle means. how to call back your power and your energy. This is just another little place to add little snippets of magical information. Oops. Then we've got Ostara. Here's all the information. And then an Ostara honey cake recipe with an incense blend recipe. And then here's another page. You open this up and you can write information here. You can write it on this card. This is all about the snow moon. And then we have another spread on calendula. Here's all the medicinal information, and here's all the magical information. We've got our color magic, what each color represents. Here's a spread on enchanting objects, how to create moon dust, and here's another snippet, and this one is pagan. What is a pagan? How to dress a candle. And then we've got some really great olive oil. It's a magical olive oil recipe. I use this on salads. You can use it in spells. Cleansing candle spell. So this is great for cleansing any type of candles. And then I've got information on the Wheel of the Year. So if I just flip this out, it has all of them right here, and then what the Wheel of the Year is. Protect my energy. This is all about the evil eye. And then here's my recipe on fire tonic, also known as fire cider. Blueberry rose syrup, which is delicious. An oil for balance. Here's a really great winter cordial recipe. And I also put a lot of wax seals in my book. A harmony spell. An affirmation for bedtime. And here's another card. I don't know if you can see this. It says rosemary. And then this was me with my little cauldron making little incense, and this is my incense page. And so this little pocket down here is full of different types of incense. So full moon incense, inner peace, an incense for meditation, protection, cleansing. I do want to add more, I just haven't done that yet. And then there's a little poem about cleansing. I thought that was really cute. Then I've got a page on how to create a chamomile infused oil, which was one of my favorite herbal remedies. And then this says basically, what is a grimoire? This is my foraging information. So it tells you, it's basically a calendar. It tells you which months to forage which plants. And then in this little pocket here, I printed off foraging do's and foraging don'ts. So what you need to do when you go forage plants and what you should not do. And I just have that tucked away here. This spread right here, it's a little chaotic looking, but I was doing an exercise, and one of the questions was, what does being a green witch look like to you? And so I came up with this spread about what a green witch looks like to me, what it means. The pentagram, what it means. And then we've got, what is a hedge witch? Then we've got an anxiety spell jar. And here we are on one of my favorite spreads. It's Spirit of Fox. Then I put in some of my vanilla extract. Sorry if you can hear my dog walking on the floor. He's quite loud tonight. So this is my favorite recipe for making vanilla extract. Then I've got my dream oil, which is really great for winding down. This one is all about pumpkin magic. This spread right here probably means the most to me in this entire book. So a little tiny story to go along with this. This is my plant ally, and I do have several plant allies, but my very first one came to me in meditation, and pine showed up to me. And so this is the story of how pine came to me in that meditation. So I wanted to write it down so that I could come back to it years later and just be blessed that this plant was in my life. So I also, on this side, there's a little pocket here, and I put in here uses for pine, just a few of them. Pine needle tea, pine needle hydrosol, passionate pine electuary, and then there's a little note cards here that I can use for it. I do want to put more recipes in here at some point using pine as well. And I put little moss here, fake moss. It's my favorite spread. And then this one is just some of my favorite crystals. And unfortunately, I could not put all of them on this page, so I just kind of had to pick and choose. But I do have a little pocket here to put a few more. And I do obviously need to tape or glue that part down. Then I've got information about tinctures. What are tinctures? How to prepare them using the folk method, which is usually the method that I go to the most. I do measure every once in a while, but for the most part, because I make medicine for my family, it's the folk method. This spread is all about lavender and what lavender can do. It's kind of the magical uses for this spread is on this side instead of this side. And then all of the medicinal uses are on this side. I also have a little book here, and it's about peaceful sleep, a little sachet you can put under your pillow. So as you can see, that is the last page. I still have a whole lot of time to go. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope that this inspires you to create your own, and that you guys aren't too scared to start your own grimoire. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't even really want to start because they're afraid of messing up. I say just go for it. And that's kind of what I did. As you can see, it's a conglomeration of everything. There's no rhyme or reason. It just is. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will get to every single one of them. But until next time, I hope you guys have a beautiful day.